Welcome to Thunder Ridge Homestead. Long time no see, everybody. The last time I was here, I went home after I'd got the pictures taken and downloaded it and picked up my camera, and it literally fell apart. I don't know why my camera chose to fall apart. It was only from 2007. It's not like it was an antique or anything, but anyway, I finally got around to getting a new camera. It has been a hard and horrible winter here on the homestead. We are finally getting a little bit of sun. I'm gonna bring the camera up here and let you meet some of the girls and just see what we're in contention with. I wanted to show you guys the barn, because the barn is going to be the subject of one of my up and coming videos. We're going to have our barn roof repaired finally. Hooray! Okay. Anyway, I'm going to move up here and change things around just a little bit. Try to do a little bit of an update this morning. Move it a little bit closer here so we can see. These are the girls, and of course our ram Moses. He's out in front here, and as you can see, he is starting to shed. Now, we raise Katahdin sheep, which are different from a lot of varieties of sheep because they naturally shed like a dog. As you can see, we've got hair all on these fences over here where they've been rubbing. That's kind of like the fun of the spring around here. But they'll rub and rub, and they get everything loosened up and coming off, and then they shed out slick, which is good for the weather here in Missouri because it gets extremely hot in the summertime, and by them naturally shedding in this way, we don't have to deal with shearing or anything like that. It has been a tough season here on the ridge. I have celiac disease, which is an autoimmune disorder. I am allergic to wheat, barley, and rye. The gluten in it makes me sick because my body cannot break it down and digest it. But it is more important at this point to note that celiac is an autoimmune disease. And because my immune system is messed up, I have been sick this winter 3 different occasions. And I mean, I had the flu, I had a respiratory infection twice. It was just one thing after another. At one point, I was sick for over 6 weeks straight. So that was another thing that was bad about this winter. I have people ask me if I was okay, because I think in the last video I was pretty hoarse and chopped up and everything. Well, I'm actually better, just so you know. Feel better now. Also, since the last video, we've had a new granddaughter born to my oldest daughter, which is exciting. It's just been a long and tiring winter, and we are more than ready for spring. As you can see, we're in the first week of April here, and we are just now starting to green up a little bit. I'm going to kind of pan this around a little bit here and see some of this grass just now starting to come up. The trees are just now beginning to bud. We have forsythia trees in our yard, and there's a lot of them around our area. And normally they're budding and blooming in like late February, early March around here, and they are just now beginning to bud. We don't have any buds on the fruit trees yet. It has just been a long, 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 hard winter. So I'm going to just give you a little bit of update, show you what we're doing. As far as the sheep are concerned this morning, the ram in front, like I said, is Moses, and he is just a year old. And he'll be going to a friend of mine's house. This is Moses coming to see me down here. He'll be coming to a friend of mine's house before too much longer and spending the summer in her pasture. Moses is purebred Katahdin. And he's a pretty good boy, really. He's pretty calm and sweet, and that's what I like so far. Aren't you, Moses? Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? My daughter laughs because he's got a man voice, she calls it. And then if you look in the pen over there, still feeling pretty darn sorry for themselves because they're still off of grass, are the ewes. And I have them pinned up. I'll show you how they're pinned. They've been in the pen and eating on a brown bale most of the winter because there's just you know, when it's snow covered or whatever, they've been out in the pasture playing and moving around and running around. But I've been trying to kind of keep them off the grass this winter. We had a dry summer last year and the grass really took a hit, so I was trying to let it rest as long as possible this year. Moses doesn't eat that much. He's more interested in standing there looking at his women than he is eating the grass as it comes up, so he's not pushing it too hard. But the girls are still, they'd come out here and scarf it down in one day because they're very, very hungry women. All 4 of these ewes are bred. We have one old regular girl that's had lots of babies for me. She had the triplets last year. Her name is Dot. We have Eula, who's had twins last year. We have Time, who's the black sheep, who had twins last year. And then, but one of her twins, if you remember right, we had a video about her. One of her twins ended up getting killed by a dog, so she ended up with a single. And then we do have one new first-timer this year, and her name is Honey, and she's the smaller looking, lighter looking sheep that's in the pen. All of these sheep did not get bred until late this year. At the time, I was upset because I was sick and I couldn't get everything done that I needed done, and normally I breed them about, you know, mid to late October so that we can have, you know, March babies. But I'll tell you what, God has watched out over me, because if we had had March babies this year, as sick as I was and as bad as the weather was, I don't know what we would have done. As it stands now, our babies are due the end of April or the 1st of March. We do have the UCam camera, so when we get close to that, we're going to start doing live streams and transmissions so that you guys can do some lamb watch with me, some ewe watches. We are going to install a second camera this year, just because it's a lot more convenient for me with my arthritis and stuff. Looks like the sheep are moving on, so I'm going to move the camera and we'll get a different view from a different place. Okay, I don't know if you can see real well. We're in the barn now. Here is Jake, our turkey. So I can get you so we can see him just a little bit better. There's Daddy Jake. And there's one of the hens. And this year we have all of these hens as well. It's still morning, so they haven't gotten out yet. Turkeys are strange creatures. Everybody's always talking about them. They go to bed early and get up late. They just like to sit and rest as long as possible, I think, on their perches. I don't know. Just kind of lazy birds. But Jake always gets up early, and then he's out fluffing around a little while, and then eventually the girls are going to start coming down off of their perch. And I've got some sheep here that would like to have a little bit of alfalfa pellets for breakfast, so I'm going to scoop them up some alfalfa. Alright, the girls eat a little bit of alfalfa pellets this morning. As you can see, we have some pretty pregnant girls here. There's old Dot. She's one who had triplets last year. And the way she looks, I wouldn't be surprised if she had triplets again this year. She's probably one of the only sheep I've ever met that can have triplet babies, nursing them, and gain weight. This girl has got some ability to eat. And really, that's what you're looking for in a good sheep. She has a lot of milk, raises good babies, and loves her dinner. I'm giving them alfalfa pellets, about half a scoop of alfalfa pellets a piece every day, every morning, once a day. And then they're having free choice hay, and I've got a grass and alfalfa mix for their hay. So they've got plenty of calcium, plenty of nutrients. This one here on the right is our first timer, and she's not as big as the other two, so it's possible she may be having a single, but you never can tell. They're cramming them down. And the one over here whose hind end you can just see sticking out, that's Eula. And if you guys have ever watched Shaun the Sheep, Eula reminds me a lot of the big fat sheep on Shaun the Sheep named Shirley. Eula is eating constantly, all the time, constantly. Nothing flaps her, nothing upsets her. It's a pretty good photo right there of all sheep buds. Let's see if we can move it around a little bit and see some more. Right over here is where Moses eats. This is, I guess you'd call it, my ram stall. It's just here between the turkey pen and the wall. One thing nice about sheep is they don't take a lot of space. He just needs enough space to come in and have a place that he can eat in the dry, a place he can get in out of the rain. Right now we've got a half of the doorway covered with a tarp, and the other half is just open so he can come in and out. There is a pen on the other side of this that goes the length of the barn, and I can just shut him in that if I need to, so that he could just stay in that portion. Right now I'm trying to keep him kind of away from the girls because I'm feeding the girls a whole lot more than I am Moses. Moses is just getting enough alfalfa pellets to think he's had some, and I'm not giving him hay unless it's a rainy day, and then I'm just giving him like a little flake of hay to give him something to do. He's just out there on grass, subsisting as need be. About another week or two, it'll be time that we need to deworm everybody. We do it about between 2 and about 3 weeks before they lamb. That gets them all cleaned out and gives the girls a lot of energy and stuff, and it also helps to them not to pass the worms on to the lambs. So we'll be worming, and we'll also be giving shots. Their booster shots come right before lambing. Also, that helps the lambs to have a little added immunity when they first are born. Moses is just eating, but Jake over here is just showing off to beat the bands. He's trying to get everybody to look at him. He thinks he's hot stuff. I'll give you a little quick barn tour while we're here. We've been, like I said, it's been bad out, terrible, awful, nasty winter. So we've really not done a lot. We've got this turkey pen cleaned out the other day. We still have to get this sheep pen, needs stripped. And like I said, we have had, for a long time now, we've had leaking barn roof and holes in the barn roof where these skylight daylight panels have been torn up or missing. As you can see, I hope you can see this. Up here is one of the old original panels. And they are like 40 years old probably. I'm serious. It's because they've never been replaced that I know of. And we built the barn when I was like 12. So some of them on the inside have got to be 40 years old. And some of them on the outside may be 30 on this outer portion, because we built the main barn first and then they built the side part of the barn later. But as you can see, we've got panels completely missing. So the panels missing translates into mud in the middle of the stall, which is nasty and it's a mess and I don't want it anymore. But we have been trying to fix this house up too, and there's just been a lot to do. As you can see, I have materials over here now so that I can get the barn roof fixed. And I'll show you while we're at it too. This over here was our haystack. It's dwindling severely. So hopefully the grass will come soon. As you know, it's easy to have people to come and build a barn. All you have to have is money. But finding people that will come and repair this kind of barn is about freaking impossible. I was surprised. In our area, I have called and called and called and tried to get somebody to come that would work on the barn. And you find people that are roofers, but they won't work on a barn roof. And you find people that are barn builders, but they won't repair anything. So we've been stuck with this for quite a while. Now, admitted, there's been other priorities, like having fences that, you know, coyotes don't eat the sheep and the sheep don't get out. That was probably the biggest priority out here in the pasture. Fences are pretty good at this point, so now we're down to repairing these barn roofs. You can see these Girl's all shoulder to shoulder over here, gobbling down. Right now, the girls can go out this barn side, and they have a pretty good sized little outside pen right there. And then they have this whole outside barn area. And that's pretty much where they've been spending their winter. Over there in that particular corner, we've had a round bale most of the winter. So they've had plenty to eat, and they can just stand in here and lounge. And the sun's been coming. This is the south facing, so the sun's been coming in, and they've just really, you know, enjoyed their time out there. It's been a nice place for them to winter at. We will be getting a barn camera in this section. This will be their new camera setup, so I'll be looking forward to it later on. You may be seeing clips from this camera as well. But they're all over here munching down. Hello. One thing that I've been having people tell me about as far as this whole YouTube thing is concerned is, why don't we ever see your face? Part of the reason is because this is the first time I've ever had a camera that I can see me, so I can get me in the frame. Before, with my old camera, I tried to talk to the camera a few times, and I would end up with something like this, and you couldn't see me, or the top of my head would be cut off at the bottom of my head, and that's kind of pointless. So hopefully you'll see a little bit more of me this year. With this camera, I can do that. I'm not a beautiful Hollywood star, but you know, people have said they want to see who's doing the talking, so here I am in all my glory. But I will be doing this a little bit more often. Like I said, I kind of hate, anyway, when I'm watching other videos, just seeing a talking head. And that's kind of what I am right now. But I know everybody said they wanted to see me and to see who I am and that type of thing. And I know that does help a lot of people visualize, you know, what's going on. So here I am. Anyway, I wanted you all to have a little update. I know it's been a long time. I've had a lot of people, which is out there, which I'm really amazed by, that have, you know, written me notes and letters and, are you okay, and is everything okay? And I'm really happy that I've kind of developing these friends like this. It's kind of amazing. I've got people all the way, you know, around the world practically, so it's kind of cool. But anyway, we're going to have more videos now. I've got a camera. It's not maybe the top of the line that some people have, but it's the one I've got now. So I just wanted to let you know that we will be back online, and we will have more videos for everybody. And I'm going to give you another little view of the sheep before we leave. So we can turn this baby around. And that's the way we're going to sign off today. Thanks a lot again for viewing. If you like it, if you would share it and have other people subscribe, that would be great. We've been a small channel for a long time. I think I have some valuable information for people, but like I said, I'm not as big and fancy and showboaty as a lot of them. At any rate, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.